Actually, check the video stream. We're good.
Okay.
So we were just talking about social media, how crazy it is, but how like I can reach out and find someone like you and get it done. So would you mind going through the brief introduction one more time, please?
Yeah, sure.
Who are
Sure,
you?
sure.
Where are you from? What's your deal?
Well, my name is Mike. I've been in Japan for 9 years exactly, and I love this country and its people, the food, right?
It's a good country for food,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's one of the best, definitely one of the best places to come and experience the culinary culture is Japan.
On all levels, cheap, mid-range.
Everything from izakayas, French food, Japanese food.
We're spoiled. Absolutely. Culinarily wise.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Living in Japan.
Yeah, but I really like it.
Oh
I
yeah,
really like it.
Me too.
Yeah.
What do you like about it? Because you're from America and you're Latin, you're Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the advantages of living in Tokyo or Japan, as opposed to where you're from? Like, why do you like living here so much?
I like Japan, and I decided to stay here first, foremost, because of the great opportunity to make music and work in the restaurant industry. But I'm totally open, for every single opportunity that this country is giving me every day and every time. Yeah. But I like it, man. I just feel comfortable.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
It's safe.
It's safe. That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to drive if you don't want to drive. Are you a driver?
I drink and drive.
Good to know.
I'm Mexican, bro.
Mexican.
Yeah, mexicano.
Some
Soy mexicano.
cervezas in the car.
Yeah.
That's okay. Whatever you do, be you, I guess. You were mentioning that you were also a chef.
Yeah.
What kind of food are you?
I can cook basically anything. I've been working in the restaurant business since I was a kid. And but I'm able to make, at this point, anything. I can make French food, Italian, Japanese, American, the best barbecue. I'm a butcher. South American, Vietnamese, Thai food, Chinese.
So you just do it all.
Just call it. I can make it.
What type of you're working in the restaurant industry?
I work in the restaurant in the restaurant industry. And
Are
I've
you
been
cooking
doing
up dishes?
all sorts of it. This moment, I work at the Tokyo American Club as a chef. It's a beautiful place. Everybody knows it. Hello, everybody out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's hot these days in terms of like popularity at that Tokyo American Club? Like, what style of food? Food's always changing.
The food is always changing because people is always changing. Their taste.
Yes.
They always change, right? They want to eat something here and out there or whatever. But when when you get yourself into the customer's point of view, right? You really want to see something different all the time. You can be really loyal to a restaurant and you like the food.
Yes.
And they only have like 10 items in the
Yes.
in the menu, right?
Yes.
There's only like 3 pastas or 2 burgers, whatever.
I prefer that.
Yeah, but you get bored,
Yes, that's
right?
true too.
So
Yes.
there's nothing better than going to the restaurant, you as a cook and as a customer, and you can ask something off the menu, right? I need a different burger. I need different pasta, but I feel like these and that, like something different. Can you make it? Yes, sure. Are you on budget? Yes, right? Plus a drink? Absolutely, yes.
Nice, man. Yeah, there's a lot of just fantastic food. I live on near a shopping street, and we got like Korean, Nepalese, 4 different ramen shops, and like as well as yakiniku. And right across the street is they recently changed, but it was a bakery, but they had like a lunch menu, like it was like a bakery in the front and kind of a bistro in the back. And every day they would have a different lunch menu, and it would be the same thing every, like for that day. There was only one choice, but it was
Yeah.
always changing, and it was like a French style food. So it'd be like grilled chicken with tomato sauce and a salad with some like pasta on the side. And the next day you would go and it would be something different. But
Okay.
yeah, it's nuts how much good food there is in Tokyo. And
There's plenty of choices, especially because you can find a restaurant every 10 meters
yeah,
in Japan. I mean, this is the capital of the food, right? That's why
Yeah.
everybody wants to work here. If you belong to the restaurant business as a server or as a bartender or as a chef, you really want to work in Japan. And money is good. If you really want to do it, also money is good. It's great. But
you got to bring your game though, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's the standards of service is super high. The standard of food tolerability is super high.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as tipping, and the customer is God.
That's the best part. No tipping, dude.
It's crazy. Yeah, so you're American,
Yeah.
and you came here 9 years ago. So you came here from like a tipping culture, right? Where like you're always thinking about tipping.
15 to 20%.
Yeah.
In average. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get over the tipping culture after you came to Japan?
I'm still working on
Seconds?
it.
Seconds?
I'm still working on
Because
it.
I worked in the restaurant industry too in
Oh, yeah?
Canada. I was assistant manager of a deli restaurant for about a
Okay.
year, but then I moved to Japan. And everybody's like tips, 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 of course. But you come to Japan 1 week after, you're like, fuck the tipping culture, man. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It only leads to arguments, extra meetings about how to deal with tips, giving people a whole bunch of booze and then asking them to do complex mathematical,
Pretty much it. Yeah, yeah.
computations at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
yeah,
of a
yeah.
meal
All day long. Yeah.
all day long. Yeah. So yeah, how about you?
No, it's kind of crazy, because when you get used to pay 15 to 20%, which is the standard, all the way from Canada all the way down to South America. And the Japanese, when you come here, and I remember the first time when I tried to tip someone in a restaurant in Japan, the lady, she told me, I think it's better if you leave a good comment on the social media to a restaurant than giving me a tip.
Yeah.
And it was a $30 tip, dude. It was unbelievable, because it's for us it's kind of automatic, just to pull the bill, and do whatever. But now what I do, every time I go back to America, to
Yeah.
Mexico or the States, whatever,
Going back.
what I do is like okay, this restaurant is great.
Yeah.
The food is awesome. I
Yeah.
really like the menu. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
I just put $100 bill on the table. This is gonna be your tip. It's all yours. For every fuck up you do, I'm going to minus $100. $10.
$10.
$10.
That's good.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're minus.
It's
They're
really
mine.
crazy because like you even ask for shit like water, and they forget it. And then they're like, "Now tip me, bitch."
Yeah.
I'm not tipping you for getting water. You don't get bonuses to forget. Otherwise, I don't get enough money to live. Why is this my problem now?
It was.
It's a weird system.
It's unbelievable. Last time I was in Mexico, 15 months ago, 16 months ago.
Sorry, dude. Yeah.
It's okay. I own a timeshare property
Cool.
in Cancun, eh?
Nice.
Yeah. So I was talking with the people there, with the food and beverage manager, and it turns out that these the top of the line beef steak, $156, right? It was right there. It was burned. It was burned and frozen in the middle.
Oh.
And frozen in the middle. And they were asking me for a tip. Right? They were asking. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. But, there is a lot of mistakes when it comes to the food business.
Yeah.
Like we all human.
Yes,
I've been there.
absolutely.
I've been there.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no,
Me
no
too.
one's perfect, but when you're paying the real money, for those
150
things,
bucks, yeah.
$156.
And it's frozen and it's burnt.
Yeah,
That means that
beautiful, right?
person is only joining the restaurant for the tips
Yeah.
and not to actually cook beautiful food.
There you go.
That's the thing.
There you go, bro.
That's another thing about the tip culture.
Exactly. So it's kind of complicated, there's lots of fun because it's considered that 40% of our lives we eat, and we think about eating and drinking.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down with eating and drinking. It's if
Right?
you're not eating good food and drinking good stuff, what's going on with your life, man? Yeah, like I can understand all this, the vegans and everything like that, and there is good vegan food, but
Oh my god!
I was a
Are
vegetarian.
you a vegan?
No, I was a vegetarian for about 6 years because when your girlfriend's a vegetarian, that pretty makes you a vegetarian. Yeah, but after deciding, like, I saw all these amazing restaurants, and I was just like, I want to go into these restaurants and
Yeah.
eat this food and not be a freak,
Yeah.
And so I gave it up so quickly. I haven't looked back. Vegetables are great. Meat and vegetables even better. And yeah, that could you imagine? Could you imagine going that way? I don't know.
No, it's difficult because now it's trendy to be a vegetarian and vegan, right? And allergic to everything and this and that. You're gonna end up just eating a plate of ice cubes,
Yeah.
right? That's all.
Yeah, the ice cubes are from some iceberg from Norway that have never touched sunlight before. Yeah.
From iceberg, old ones from 10,000-year-old icebergs.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had an idea. It's gone. I lost it. Fuck. It's too bad because it was an interesting tangent.
Salud, bro.
Salud.
Salud, salud.
There are restaurants with water menus now,
Where?
In California, of course, Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And they serve the type of water I was just talking about, iceberg water. Anyways, we don't have to talk about it. What?
Don't put me there, man. All my followers are gonna fuck me up.
That's okay. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. I have no culpability talking about this type of thing, but you're in so deep. Yeah. All right. You were talking about all this, the many different styles of food you were making. Like, we were gonna start about guitars, but it's impossible to start about guitars now. We have to continue with food. What about the idea of mixing certain foods together? Sometimes I see in downtown Tokyo places mixing Thai and Nepalese or something like that. I never go into those restaurants.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like French fusion with Japanese fusion, I'm all in. I'm totally in. Oh, sorry. Stupid technology. Let's turn it off. What do you think about what kind of? I don't want to say like fuck fusion or yay fusion, but what kind of fusion is good? And for you, what are you thinking about?
No, fusion is great. It is actually great. If you're a purist when it comes to the food, right? If you as a chef, as a professional, right? Not just like coming to work and just cutting the vegetables and put all the pieces together to satisfy the customers. It's not enough. I think you have to be able to do something different every day, right? And customers now, at this point, everybody likes to travel, right? For example, me, my favorite food, it's gonna be Indian and Korean all the time. But I really want to try something that it tastes like Korean, but it looks like Indian and it smells like Indian food. Stinks a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's great. But fusion is awesome. Fusion is great. You can put all the pieces together and try to put some innovation to your business. If you're running a business, you can do it. And people's going to appreciate it. But I don't know. The whole thing's totally up to you.
What are some combinations these days that are working for you?
Uh, I'm a garlic lover.
Yeah, me too. I love garlic.
I love garlic.
I put if it says like 2 cloves, I'm putting in 4, sometimes 5.
Mm,
I
yeah, you can do 6.
okay, yeah, exactly. I love garlic.
Why not?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like don't pussy out with garlic.
All the time. I can sleep with it. It's just right there. I have tons of it all
Holy
the time.
shit! How
Yeah.
many? You have like 15 garlic.
Sometimes I can buy like 2 to
What's
3,
one
3
garlic
kilos.
thing called instead of Colt, the Japanese?
The Japanese garlic is the most expensive one. You can buy one piece of garlic for like
$5.
$5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it was 3 or 250, but they had some typhoons hit up in northern Japan, which destroyed their garlic patties up there.
But it's
whatever
nice.
they're called.
It's better to Japanese garlic is better than truffles.
Oh, really? It is good. They're fat. They're big. There's something that the Japanese do to their vegetation that makes
It's
it out
pure
of this
sex.
world. Yeah, it's pure sex. Is that Japanese garlic up there?
That's the Japanese
From
garlic
Aomori?
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, right? The
Yeah.
Aomori garlic.
Yeah, right there. Right
Yeah.
there.
Wow. All right. So you like garlic. So
Yeah. And coriander. Coriander. I can do a lot of things.
Pakuchi.
Yeah, with pakuchi, as they call it in Japan. In Japan, the coriander wasn't like so trendy before.
yeah, it stinks. And a lot of the times
Yeah,
at,
for
at
them.
restaurants that serve coriander, they'll say,
Yeah.
"Pakuchi daijoubu desu ka?" Before serving it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but it's one of the main ingredients for Mexican food, and salsas and guacamole, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
When you put it on top of steaks,
Yeah.
and some other things.
It's almost like a shiso type of flavor.
I used to make my shiso a special salsa for the Japanese
Yeah.
back in the day. Here in Japan, in 2014, when I was working for this barbecue place in Akasaka, and instead of the other things, I used to use but instead of the pakuchi,
Yeah.
it was the shiso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a similar. I don't know how to talk about this, but like with the pakuchi and the shiso, the flavor register is like very high. Not high end in terms of quality, but it's not like a Bordeaux, which is a bottom heavy kind of flavor, right? It's like a very high. Like I kind of give it a zing. Like it has like this very. Like in terms of music, it would be like trebly. It's like high end trebly. And
Trebly
if
as
it was
fuck.
if you were mixing it in terms of EQ, it would be
Yeah.
in the 10K range. Does that make sense to anyone? I don't
Probably
know.
like 15, man.
15K is
Sometimes,
that where
for
the coriander and the shiso
for
hide
some
out at?
people is a little bit too much, right? Some people, they like some things,
Yeah.
and their taste is like high standards. They're gonna come up front and tell you, right? I don't like this. I don't like that, and this and that. I don't like it. So you can make something for them. But when I'm at home, since I work in the restaurant business, I never cook at home. Never. Only when I feel inspired, or I have like the VIP people like yourself today. You okay, brother?
I'm coughing. I gave it too much last night. This is terrible. This is bad. I apologize to everyone. This is bad.
Yeah, well, you're broadcasting, bro. Drink some water. And eat more garlic.
Eat more garlic. What about things like Japanese food in terms of natto?
I like natto. Yeah, one of my signature dishes. I created something with natto because when I came to Japan for the first time, everybody was asking me, "How do you like natto? What do you think about natto? That thing is disgusting.
I love it.
It's stinky. I love it. That thing, it's pure protein. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I
Right?
eat it like every day
Me too.
with a raw egg and rice in the morning.
Tony, man, that
it's
thing
it's
is
the best.
It's pure rock and roll. In onigiri, ne?
Yeah.
That's the best. Yeah. So I created the natto pizza.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
pure rock and roll. I'm gonna make it for you. Yeah, that thing is it's just a base of mayonnaise with wasabi, on
Yeah,
top,
okay, now I
and
follow
then the
you. Yeah,
cheese
yeah.
and the natto, and you put it in the oven.
For some
With
reason, wasabi and natto work with mayonnaise.
they work together, right? And then just before a couple of minutes, before it's well done, you just throw it in the egg yolk, and it's a masterpiece.
I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. I am so sold. 30 seconds ago, you were nuts. 30 seconds ago, you were totally fucking crazy. But now I am sold. I got to take care of my voice, otherwise I'll start coughing. But I got these. My wife, girlfriend, her family's from the Tohoku area.
Okay.
And her mother makes homemade pickles and sends them down. And she takes a lot of wasabi, like real wasabi, but the leaves of the wasabi.
Okay.
And she puts them in like a lot of mirin or nihonshu mixed with soy sauce as a type of garnish.
Yeah, the honshu with soy sauce.
Yeah, and it's you get a bit of a wasabi taste, and you can mix that in with the natto with the egg as well.
It takes time, because when you talk about pickles, it takes time.
The pickles do take time, yeah.
Yeah, they take time.
But they're old. They have nothing but time.
Yeah, you have to wait maybe a couple months.
Just
To wait
stewing in the
to
basement.
pickle it up,
Yeah. To pickle it up.
To pickle it up, baby. Yeah, yeah.
Pickle it up. Let's pickle it up. We're pickling it up. All right. That's crazy, man. Well, okay,
bro.
so we got like tons of guitars. You play guitars.
I play guitars. Yeah.
How did you come into? No, sorry, wrong way to ask the question. When did you start playing guitar?
Well, it's a long story. I started playing guitar around 1982, 1983. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's gonna be like 30 something years.
35.
Yeah,
So
35.
you've been on the guitar trail for 35 years.
All the time. I remember
And
when
it just gets bigger.
yeah, my older brother, he came to the house with brand new and fresh Led Zeppelin album. It was a single.
Where were you living at this point?
I was living in Mexico. Yeah.
Which part?
In Guadalajara.
Where is
Yeah,
that?
that's my hometown. Yeah. And I remember, that day, my older brother, he came and he was like, "Oh, you have to take a look at these." I was just a little kid. I'm not going to mention my age, but I'm an old guy with an old soul. And I remember perfectly, that when he was playing that song, that was "Trample Underfoot," I think, or "Tire Maker," by Led Zeppelin. And it was just amazing, and I just fell in love with rock and roll. Yeah, I was just 5 years old, and
That's a really early introduction. Do you remember what hooked you? What? Do you remember like the moment where you went, "This is good"?
No. If you talk about guitars, maybe I can say Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah, Jimmy Page. Yeah, back in the early '80s.
I came into loving music. I played music a lot when I was younger, but I never really loved it. I was in concert band and stuff like that, playing saxophone, 12 years old. But I'm very late. When I was 16 years old, my friend put on Metallica's Load album. I'd never heard of Metallica before. A lot of people hear Load and they go, ugh. But when I heard the opening riffs to Ain't My Bitch,
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, oh, this is good music, and it dropped. Like I felt something go, boom. Now
Yeah.
you like music as if you've been playing music for 5 years, hours a week, but you never really liked it.
Yeah.
Now you like music. That's what I felt when I heard that riff.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything like that? As a 5-year-old, that's pretty young, but
I don't know. I think it was the rock and roll, but Led Zeppelin. I'm a big Zeppelin fan since as far as I can remember, and up to now, I'm able to play every single Led Zeppelin song on the guitar.
Solos, riffs,
Everything,
everything.
note by note. Yeah, yeah. I used to play in a Led Zeppelin tribute band in the '90s, and it was a big shock for me. That's where my love from for Gibson Les Pauls and everything, came out. And then I
You have
became
a
a.
few.
I have a few. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a few.
One, two, three, four, five, six, plus a dobro, plus another room full of guitars.
All the guitars, they live with me, and I started collecting guitars a few years ago, and now I own an amazing collection. They've been, always with me, and they all sound different. Beautiful, man. I love music, and just love guitars.
So you came to because you're, I read some of your posts on social media and stuff. And you were saying that to understand rock and roll music, you have to understand the blues.
Absolutely, yes.
Why do you say that?
Because everything's coming from there. I mean, I've been following the blues for a long, long, long time since I was a kid. I grew up, with people, with hardcore lovers, right? With black people, whites, all colors,
Yeah,
Latinos,
that's
that
very
people
true
like,
with the blues.
and I think that is one of the most important styles that you have to learn and understand in order to play rock and roll. If you don't play the blues, you cannot play rock and roll properly because you have to understand the instrument, right? And everything's coming from there. It's very simple. It's just 12 bars, 4 chords. That's all. But it's very, very, very difficult to play. Gary Moore used to say that the slow blues, the slowest slow it gets, that thing
Jesus,
is
yes.
difficult to play it.
It's super tough.
Yeah,
and to keep it slow.
Yeah, you keep it slow. I mean, you have to talk
Yeah.
with the instrument, right?
It's the porch.
With
It's,
any
it's
instrument.
yeah.
It can be the bass, could be the bass, guitar, or drums, whatever, or keyboards.
You're
or
dealing
piano.
with a lot of space between notes.
Less is more
Yeah.
when you talk about the blues, but sometimes it's impossible. But like, how can less be more? More is more, right? It's impossible to say that less is more.
In terms of effect.
Yeah,
That's the point.
totally.
Your effect
Yeah.
on the listener is because otherwise you could stand next to a construction site,
Yes.
or you could stand next to a solo bird singing in a tree. Which are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the construction site? Or are you going to choose the songbird?
Yeah, the songbird, man.
Every single time.
100%, 100%. So from my own perspective, right, that's something that is totally personal.
Yes.
I would say that if you really want to play or be able to play the rock and roll, you have to be able to control the blues.
So I'm just checking the camera. I know it's it's a podcast. So when you're talking about coming to blues through Led Zeppelin, that's actually very far along the path of mainstream or blues, because
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin kind of skips over the acoustic blues. A lot of the kind of super eccentric acoustic blues players, black Southern guys.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that put like 9 strings on his guitar and filled up his guitar with like receipts and garbage so that no one would play it? I can't remember his name. Some fatty guy. I can't remember. But anyways, like
Funny guy, that's fucked.
do you ever do you go back in time as well into the acoustic?
Yeah.
blues, or-
I've been playing. I like the old blues.
Yeah.
They were from the 1920s and 1930s. I think everything's hiding there.
A good point. Everything is hiding there in the 20s and 30s.
Everything's there.
The goofy shit, the kazoos.
Yeah, man. Now we're talking serious business here,
Yeah, we're getting
right?
quite quickly.
Yeah.
Kazoos and blues are Because these were just like poor black people, and
Yeah.
anyone can make a kazoo out of a blade of grass,
Yeah.
even maybe. So
Yeah, and the thing is that the blues when it came out, it's kind of crazy. Nobody really knows exactly where's the real foundation or the roots of the blues. We all know that back in the day, the 1920s in America and the South and this and that, but nobody really knows exactly what happened. But the one thing that is
yeah,
for sure is that
okay,
there is an evolution from at the moment when people like Robert Johnson, the first rock star of the guitar, he came out and
the
he
devil's intersection.
yeah, right there. But I love it. But I love it, and I know that everything is there. When I'm at home, I never play any other kind of music. I just listen to the blues, the old one, yeah. And I play the acoustic guitars, and that's what I do. Yeah.
We were before we started recording the podcast. The second time was the first time we successfully started recording the podcast. But we were listening to Led Zeppelin reunion tour.
Yeah.
What that was when Led Zeppelin regrouped with John Bonham on drums. He was
Well, with his son.
with his
Yeah.
son,
Yeah.
and you were there.
I was actually there. Yeah. I was pretty lucky to be there and catch one of those
How many
tickets.
people were there, and what was the concert like?
Oh, a
And
few
in
thousands, few thousands.
terms
Yeah, it
of a
wasn't
blues player, what was the effect? How did you feel about it?
2007.
while ago.
Of course, for a blues player, it's always going to be like a big impact when you see a classic rock band live, yeah, live in concert.
Yeah.
Right? They're all right there. They're the source of your original inspiration, and it was beautiful. Everything was there. Yeah, not cheap, but I was there.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Now you said you said that you run like a recording studio so what do you do with music nowadays? Because we're both musicians, but we're very different musicians. I can tell right away. Like I play klezmer music. I have a very actually dismal view of music at the moment, but you were talking about music earlier in very bright, positive ways. So what do you do with music now these days? Like what do you do? What do you play? What do you record? And what's the deal?
Well, I'm totally attached to the idea of making music all the time, right? Even though I play with cover bands
Sure.
in Japan, and because that's a deal, and that's the only way to go out as a foreigner and expose yourself, right? But
I've
of course,
exposed myself.
but I compose a lot of music. The music my own music, it's all blues. I'm still working on my blues record. It's coming out next year.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, it's gonna be the Mike's Navarro, the
Sure.
blues band, right in the evening. And I conceived the thing, when I was in Okinawa. That's where my recording studio is based.
Why did you go to Okinawa to start a recording studio?
I have a recording studio there.
Is that price, or is it just a way to get to Okinawa sometimes?
Pretty much, yeah. But I'm aligned, with a couple of friends, and we share business right there. Yeah, and of course, whenever I feel like I want to record something, I go down there to Okinawa in a monthly basis, right? And I go there and I just record, and I talk to my customers, and we do business there, and everything's fine. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of other local bands also recording there? Do you?
Not local bands, but bands from mostly Koreans and Chinese and people from Taiwan.
What kind of music are they recording?
Pops.
Pops.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
that's where the money
that's
is,
where
brother.
the money is. Yeah. So you take the money from that and then fuel it into your own side projects.
Merciless.
Yeah. Merciless. Wow, that's a very business approach, right?
Yeah.
But it's in order to do what you want to do, you have
Yes.
to have the business side,
Yeah.
right? It's quite difficult to just play acoustic blues to people and pull in a paycheck. And
And, and at one point, of course, I totally like it. But when we have a special customer, they always call me, even if it's going to be a session in Singapore or Taiwan or Okinawa or China or even the States. I can go there, and I can do it because I work as a sessionist for a long time, and I just go there and play my guitar or bass or whatever it takes.
gotcha. You're a sessioner. You're a
Yeah.
sessional musician.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Now I get it. See, I'm a songwriter, so I'm always like on the outskirts, kind of wondering how to write a song or something like that. I don't really play a lot of. I don't really do a lot of songwriting anymore. There's a very limited market for it, to be honest. Hey, original music, but
Yeah.
as a sessional, then you get the order in. It's like the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
It's very similar, isn't it? You there's a menu and you
Yeah.
and you play to the menu
With the
whether-
recipe, yeah.
with the recipe, and you have to have the chops. Otherwise, you're told to go home very quickly.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And it's all about timing. Because time is always represents money when it comes to the food industry and the music industry,
Timing, yeah, and you have to be on time
and deliver the job.
and deliver the job.
Yeah.
Do you like it? What do you like being a sessional musician?
Not really. I like it because sometimes you have to do it, but when it comes to the business, it's kind of funny to see all these young bands. That they're totally awesome when you see them playing live, right? They play live, and it's like, holy shit, everything's so great.
Yeah.
But when they come to the studio, they have no idea how to work with the timing of the metronome, and the guitars are totally out of tune. They don't know what they're doing, and of course that thing costs money.
That's very true. I had the same problem. I've been, for the past 3 years, I've been practicing to metronome a lot because I had some fuck ups in a studio session and it cost me a lot of money and time and poorer product because of some because I fucked up technically. And Thelonious Monk always said, make a mistake, that's on you. It's going to get released, but don't do it next time.
Yeah.
And that's a kind of philosophy that I live by. But it also means like, okay, if I'm going to be recording again, I need to, because playing live and recording is completely different from
It's a
each
different
other.
animal.
Playing live, you're a party animal. Recording, you're leaving a legacy.
Yes.
And they're very different approaches. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. That's what is the music is all about, right? It's just having fun and because there's levels, right?
Yes.
And music is the biggest thing in history. It's one of the biggest.
It's
things.
the ultimate thing.
It moves everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's surrounded by the all kinds of atmospheres and people, and
It's language.
it's language.
It's I. You gotta go pee.
I want to go pee pee.
All right. No problem, man.
I'll be back in a minute. People,
All right.
just wait for me.
All right, I'll cover. It's no problem. Yeah. I have a way to solve this problem. That's not a problem. We all need to pee. There's a book called Everybody Poops. And this book is to train people to understand pooping is a natural thing. Have you ever pooped and thought it was unnatural? That's certainly inconvenient at times. That much is true. But if we're going to poop, let's make sure we do it ceremoniously and occasionally together. Because when we poop together, we stay together as families and as societies, again and again and again and again. I invite you all to go to the washroom right now and ceremoniously poop. And if you are watching this in the future and you're pooping, then you might be pooping not at the same time as somebody else, but at the same exact podcasting time as somebody else. Let's work together and solve things. Oh, I could have done a major blues. Well, all right. We were talking about the aspect of music, and I've been thinking about this a lot because right now the culture is so political. It sounds crazy. he's he's pouring ice into everything. The culture is so political now, and of course it just divides people. But when we're all more musical with each other, then it brings people together. Like for me, one thing about music is that it always brings people together. When politics becomes the mainstream, people are just going to get so angry because politics is essentially side taking. It's like, are you for the Astros or the Argonauts? And then all of a sudden you're going to create teams. But everybody's for music. We can argue whether Sabbath is better than Zeppelin. I personally think Sabbath is way better than Zeppelin, but that's just me. But going back to what we were saying earlier, if we look at music, it'll bring us together instead of putting politics on the top. Like I don't understand why politics is so everybody's thing at the moment. And for me, it should be music.
Well, I mean, music was totally separated from politics for a long, long, long time, since the beginning of time, until the Vietnam War came out in the 1960s.
Yes. It happened.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that was actually the birth of rock and roll as we know it in the late 60s, right? Because people start complaining about the government, about the system, about the whole thing, right? And then we can see Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix, the Doors, and everybody just talking about the system and saying we had enough, right? We don't want to take this anymore.
Yeah.
And everything just came out. The Who, right? And because it was about politics and music, right? That's what it was all about, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it brought people together, though.
Yeah. If it's not politics and music, if they don't clash together, we didn't know rock and roll as we know it, right?
I was listening to Rage Against the Machine a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
And when I was 16, 17, I was like, whoa, these guys are awesome. But I was listening to them a few days ago. I'm like, whoa, these guys really just complain.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. That's exactly what a 16-year-old person
It's
says.
all about complaining when it comes to the rock and roll, man. We just don't like our parents and the system. We don't like school. We don't like to follow the rules.
You were saying that we were talking about your Okinawa studio, and some of these many players don't really study enough to record at a professional level, so they're not familiar with metronomes. What do you think about? I always feel like the top level of music is always going to be there because there's going to be enough people, because music is a human thing, that will study music to the highest professional ability.
Yeah.
But in terms of the mid-range these days, how are you feeling about these players that are coming into your Okinawa studio? What's going on in the mid levels there?
Well, everything is fine, and not just the people coming to the studio. It's bands, new bands that are always forming all over the world.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's huge. You
Yeah.
know that the whole thing is it's big. Everywhere you go,
Yeah.
uh, America or every continent,
Yeah.
you know, has its own bands. Everybody wants to make music, but it's difficult. It is always everybody wants to be famous.
It's super hard. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be famous. I just want to. I want to make good music.
Me either, man. You know, but music. You just playing music is it's the best thing, and as time goes on, you know, you realize that when you're playing your acoustic instrument, like acoustic guitar, cajon, or just like a regular acoustic instrument,
All right. Yeah.
and then you go to the forest, and then you play,
Tucka tucka.
you feel great.
Yeah, it's rejuvenating.
Exactly, it's rejuvenating. Exactly.
You were saying earlier that you on the weekends at home. Maybe I read this on Facebook again, but you were saying that on weekends or at home you only play acoustic.
I only play acoustics.
Okay, why?
When I'm at home.
Why? You could easily plug in these headphones into an amplifier
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
some
yeah,
Gibsons. So what's the
And
deal?
I actually have you know, all the technology and the equipment.
Certainly
and,
got a lineup over there.
guitars
Look at
and everything.
those masters of guitars.
The just nasty guitars, you know, nasty. When they come out on stage, you know, it's like a couple $1 million there, you know, like on electric guitars, and I just cannot believe it. It was my dream when I was a kid, and now I can do it. I can do it. But
I love that you have these guitars. By the way, I think it's so
they're cool.
awesome.
They're cool. They're
And
cool.
For those listening, there's a room over there with so many more.
Yeah, at home, you know, of course, you know, I'm always housing maybe like 60 to 80 guitars. You know, depends. You
This
know,
is
on my
nuts.
mood. Yeah, it's nasty.
It's like one person would say it's unhealthy. I say it's the best thing ever. It
is.
It's
It
so
is.
awesome, man.
It's
This
really
crazy
cool.
collection.
I was telling my friend the other night that, of course, you know, I only play acoustic guitars. Bro.
Cheers, man. This
Salud.
is
Well,
good.
yeah,
This
once
is
again,
good.
bro.
Yeah.
I only play acoustic guitars because I'm a blues guy.
Yes.
I'm a blues guy, so if I'm at home, I like to play the blues, even if it's a metal song, if it's metal, heavy metal, yeah, because I can play from the blues to Yngwie Malmsteen, kind of that
Yes.
sort of thing. I
It's
can
in
play,
there.
yeah, but I like to play on the acoustic, note by note, right there.
Okay.
Everything there, you
Yes,
know, on
yes.
every style, you
Yeah.
know, finger
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
because everything's here.
Yeah.
No effects, zero.
And you know it's your hand doing it.
It's just right there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is just right there. But I play electrics. Maybe I don't play that much, you know, of the electrics when I'm at home, and I can play pick up a tele or a Stratocaster, you know, because that's the original sound, the one I like. I like it clean.
Yeah, I like the telly. I like the telly.
yeah, it's hard to beat
Tellies
a
are
telly,
good.
man.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
It's the best.
It kind of has a sloppy sound.
It's the
to it.
best. It's hard to beat a telly, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
They can sound clean and nasty.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And you know, the best proof is that one right there.
Yeah.
This one, the second one right there.
Yeah, the second one from the right.
From
There's
the
a
right.
line of guitars on a couch in front of us.
That's a super customized Telecaster. I have this guitar since 1988.
Okay, let's go back.
I found it in a dumpster.
No shit.
Yeah. This one. And this guitar, you know, it's ultra customized, and it sounds like a Strat, sounds like a Tele,
Yeah.
and sounds like a Les Paul, right? With the D tuner and the whole thing, you know, it has
shit,
it has everything.
yeah.
Only one knob, just volume, baby.
See, that's another thing is
That's all I need.
it's you have one knob and there's not a lot of options.
That's all. Simple is best.
Yeah. Well, going back to like bands like Queen,
Yeah.
that guy didn't use pedals. What do you use a lot of pedals?
Who?
Sorry, the guy from Queen. I don't know the guitar's name.
Brian May.
Yes, Brian May.
Yeah, Brian May. He did a few things, but Brian.
I totally understand you questioning.
It's hard to say, for me, because when it comes to I'm one of those guys who hates pedals. I don't like special effects on the guitars. For me,
Do you always go straight through, or do you,
straight to the amp.
yeah, you don't use pedals at all?
No, sometimes I don't even bring a fucking tuner, man.
Wow.
It's all zero. For me, it's just a good guitar, good cable,
Good cable.
and a good
Cable
amp.
snob.
And a good amp.
Yeah. Alberto Garcia, I interviewed him like a couple of years ago now. He said that he doesn't use a cable longer than 1.5 meters. That really struck me as like, because then the quality goes down. Do you feel the same way?
Well, each to his own.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I know Alberto. He's a really cool friend of mine, and he has a great style. He's a scholar. He's a great teacher. He's a great guitar player.
Just listen to his tone, and you can.
He's amazing.
Three
He's amazing.
seconds in, you're listening to that guitar
Alberto
tone.
is just amazing.
Yeah.
I was talking with him a couple of days ago, and we were talking. Of course, we always talk about guitar tone and what's coming later, and new guitars, and what do you think about this one? And we advise each other when it comes to buying guitars and playing with bands and stuff, right? But for me, always gonna be like that. Just going straight to the amplifier, and that's all. And he has his own tone. But yeah, man.
I don't know. It's like
for me, it's
like
all
like an
just the
obsession,
acoustic
It
guitar
is.
and try to
It is.
replicate
You're
that
so
tone
deep
and
down
that
this
sound
guitar
through
road.
the electric.
I
nothing better
approve.
on
This is
stage
great.
than doing it.
There's a
through
billion
the
ways to
real
spend
deal,
money.
like
This is
Gibson Les
one of
Paul,
them.
the old ones, the ones I have.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
the thing,
lucky
since
enough
I was a
I own
kid.
38
because
Les
I
Pauls.
remember, I'll be honest with you once again. I came to this country.
And none of them is
9 years
crap.
ago.
Yeah.
Right,
And,
I came here
own
with only one
Fender
guitar, the one
Stratocaster
of
the
each,
one that I'm
each
holding
that's
right
the
here.
one you came to
This
get-
is the
oh,
this is
okay.
the
From
one.
1990.
Did you
guitar
have
that
like a
one,
musical goal in
I
mind
own
when you
like
came
the cleanest
here?
Snowcaster.
yeah,
ever. I came to Japan
Why,
pretending
man? Like, I'm a minimalist.
to be a professional
Like,
musician.
the less stuff I
and to
have,
be
the better.
to
Why-
go back
why
and
do-
track
why do you
into
want
my
5
stuff.
million guitars?
But it's really difficult as foreigner, as gaijin.
Yeah,
as they call
it
us,
is.
right?
It is.
To do your thing, in
Everything
the recording
in Japan
studios.
is so Japan. It's so hard to.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's difficult, man. But little by little, the guitars came to me. They came to me, and then I bought one, and then I sold another one, and then I had another one, and then I got them because I worked for the retail business for Guitar Center.
I see.
When I was younger, so I know what's the deal with guitars. This is the language that I speak, right? And I know everything about the instrument.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a technical player, but
But you're a fucking awesome player, man. I saw you playing guitar, man. You're fucking great.
No,
Better than me.
no way. And you know that ain't true. Anyways, you got a beautiful collection of guitars, man.
It is a great collection, man. I'm totally proud of it. I cherish my guitars. They my daughters. I could easily maybe like sell them and buy me a couple of fucking Maseratis if I want. Right? But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep them. They go into the grave with me.
Good. I feel recently I've been
tough.
buying some more microphones, and I feel the same thing where it's like, oh, this is this kind of. I think it's a guy thing in a way, like we kind of find something and we're like, oh, this is a very interesting road I can pursue.
Yeah.
And it's established, and there's community, and then there's all these other people
Yeah.
talking about it, and you can try to do something with it in your own way.
Yeah.
Have you speaking of that, what kind of style would you say you have? Is it
My playing style.
at the root of it?
I'm a blues guy.
Blues guy.
Yeah, I'm a blues guy. I can play any style.
Yeah.
Definitely I can play. I
Yeah.
can play. I can read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can well. But I'm a blues guy. You know, I grew up. I'm from the streets, and when it comes to me, you know, from my playing, I always play the blues. I play the acoustics. And I come back home, you know, and I play the dobro, and I play the Gibson.
Yeah.
I play my Martins, and chords. You know,
The resonance of a chord from an acoustic
the
guitar.
chords is one of the things that is killing the business because if you see one thing, Matt, the guitar industry is dying. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. But it's going down because of there's a lot of people playing the instrument
Yeah.
and not buying guitars. They are buying effects, right? They are buying technology. That's one of the big problems that is killing the guitar industry.
Let's get into that.
Yeah,
So what's going down?
yeah, yeah, man. And I see it, you know, because I buy and sell guitars on a daily basis.
What type of technology is replacing guitars?
Effects.
Like what do you mean by effects? Pro Tools or
No, not the apps, right?
Yeah.
Not the computer things, because I got them all. You know, I play with Cubase and Pro Tools and all the plugins and everything. I love them. I love them. There's a lot of compression there. You know, I like it, but guitar effects, pedal boards, and all those things. You know, that's the kind of thing that is killing the guitar industry, big time. You know, because back in the day, kids they used to go out and with a dream like myself and try to go up the Les Paul or a Telecaster or a Fender
Sure.
or something different. But now they buy a cheap guitar, and they prefer to invest the rest of the money on a pedal board.
yeah.
Little
I,
by
I see a lot of pedal boards.
yeah, little by little, you know, because one effect pedal is gonna cost you like $100, $50, and they just don't buy guitars. They don't play guitar anymore. They play with the effects,
With the toys.
with the toys,
Yeah.
which is cool. I did it before. I did it before when I was younger, but I prefer to invest maybe in a good wireless unit or a good guitar, you know, instead of that kind of like
It's peripheral, right? Those toys. Like
Totally.
the guitar, the instrument is the source. And when you connect with the source, you're connecting with a deeper power.
yeah,
And you're also connecting with deeper engineers who understand how to make very advanced equipment. And the toys give you a sense of that, but they don't give you access to the power. Know what I mean? So when I play like something that's high quality, it sounds mystic, and in a way it is.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
music and mysticism. Let me tell you, when you experience like this is just a mid-level mic, but this microphone I can connect with it much more than I can with an iPhone microphone, for example.
yes,
So when we get to the engineer, the top engineer
Yeah.
at Gibson, and your fingers can connect to each other in a way that is much more direct to a musical source
Yeah.
than a bunch of wires and toys that are trying to mask the buyer's choice of not going for quality but
Yeah.
going for quantity.
yeah, But I always tell you know to the little kids, you know, when it comes to the acoustic, it's like, wow, I want to be like these, I want to be like that, I want to play like this guy and that one, and they're all fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Guthrie Goban, Imbe Malmsteen, you know, those guys, they're the big bosses of guitars, right? But just play the acoustic. I mean, don't panic. It's organic.
What I like about it as well is that like you know exactly when you play something well and when you play something not well. Like the acoustic instrument tells you you did it or you didn't do it. And
Right
very
away.
clear, like, whoa, I fucked
away.
that up, you know?
You're going to fuck up, and you know,
Yeah.
all the time. But the good thing, it is a great exercise for the brain, is to play the acoustic guitar, playing a round of chess in the morning before going to work. Play a little bit of chess, play guitar, acoustic, and then go to work. After a coffee, of course, man.
After a coffee or two. Yeah. So let's sum up here. So let's take a look. So why should people play acoustic instruments?
Well, I think that everyone should play acoustic instruments for the most simple reason
Yeah.
is the contact with you, with nature. Mm-hmm. Your contact with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the real scale. Everything is just right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't lie.
One-on-one.
1-to-1.
Yeah.
That's all.
Why should people play the blues?
Because that's the real deal. If you don't play the blues, you can play rock and roll properly.
And why should people eat good food?
Because if you don't eat good food, you don't know nothing about life, right? Yeah.
What would life be like without good music and good food?
Without,
Yeah. Take it away. Delete.
it would be a waste of time.
I totally agree.
It would be
Yeah.
totally a waste of time, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's like good music, good food, right?
If you got that in your life.
That's what life is all about. Because
if you got-
everyone has a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you? You were mentioning that you had you were admins on some things. So, if people see this and they want to find out more about what you do, can they?
They can send me a friend request on Facebook.
Where is that? How do they find you?
Mike Navarro on Facebook. That's all.
Right.
You're going to see my face
On the book,
on the book. I'm on the book, bro.
on the Facebook.
Right there.
All right, Mike. Thank you so much for doing this, man. This was so much fun.
My brother, thank you so very much.
All right.
Matt, you're the man. Thank you so very much for taking your time to come to my house. And let's do it again and
Let's
jam
do it
out
again.
sometime, bro.
Yeah, man. Maybe we can do a jam cast with you and Nicholas.
Absolutely. You know,
Wouldn't that be cool? We don't do it too far from here, by the way. There's an open invitation.
yeah, right there.
You could be doing rhythm, and he could be solo, and I could be drumming.
I'm a bass player as well, man.
Bass player? We totally need a bass. Okay, all right. But yeah, I'm down. All right.
Yeah. Nobody cares if you're a bass player, but you have to play bass. It's the glue of music.
We need more bass.
More bass.
All right.
We need more fucking the not drums or bass. We are gonna need more cowbell.
Cowbell forever. All right.
Thank you, bro.
You can find us on MatthewPMBigelow.com. This has been the Matty B Files Tokyo Field Reports, episode 107 or 108. 104. I'm not really sure at this point in time, but we appreciate you joining us on this musical and culinary adventure in June 2018.
Life is a musical gift.
Peace.
Matt. Bro, thanks, man.
Not fun?
No, it was fun. It was cool. Oh, let's eat something.